Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Starting the Day the Right Way 5 minute devotional for July 11th, 2020. Hope everyone is doing good today. It is a Saturday morning. All right, so let's jump right into it. So, me and my son yesterday were watching Empire Strikes Back from Star Wars, and we got to the part where Luke and Darth Vader were battling, and Luke had just found out that Darth Vader was his dad. And so we let that scene end, and I could see all sorts of questions on my son's face. So I said, "What's up, bud?" He's like, "Well, how is Darth Vader Luke's father? Darth Vader being the most evil person in all of Star Wars lore, or one of the most evil people in Star Wars lore, and Luke seemingly to be so good. How is that possible that that ended up being so?" And then I could see him thinking, and my son has a very empathetic heart, and I could see him thinking that, are you evil, Daddy? In some way like that. So I asked him the question, and I'm like, are you thinking that maybe I'm like Darth Vader or something? And he had this weird smile on his face. So it got me thinking throughout the day, and then praying this morning, and God led me to this verse from Exodus, and it says, Exodus chapter 3, verses 2 and 3 says, "There the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a blazing fire from the middle of a bush. Moses stared in amazement. Though the bush was engulfed in flames, it didn't burn up. 'This is amazing,' Moses said to himself. 'Why isn't it the bush is burning up? I must go see it.'" So I started praying through it, before I hopped on here this morning. And I'm like, "Okay, Lord," I said, what do you want me to share?" So there's a couple of things. As a father, I certainly don't have all the answers, and I have many of them up until this point, for an 8-year-old mind. At 16, 20, 25, I don't know what answers I'm going to have. But I know we are wondering, when are we going to return to normalcy? When is God going to take care of this? Why isn't He doing more? Why? Well, I said, "Lord," I said, "I don't have all these answers." And He said, "I know." And He said, "But I do." And I said, "You're right. You do." And the only way we're going to change things, the only way we're going to change things here on heaven, is to seek out, not on heaven, here on earth, is to seek out heavenly solutions. And God has those heavenly solutions. How are we going to do that? Well, we need to spend time with God. We need to pick a time in the morning, in the night, throughout the afternoon. We all have different parts of our lives that are more busier than the other. But He does have the answers to many and all of these problems that are going on, politically, financially, health-wise. He has these answers, and He, quite honestly, is the only one who can possibly bring these solutions down from heaven. So I just continued, and again, I was going back and forth between me and my son. And there are times, my son had a play date the other day, and kids are kids. And he came home, and he said, "Daddy, I was sad because so and so did this. Why did he do that?" And he's honestly coming to me to find out the heart behind the matter of things, which we as a nation are obviously facing some tough conversations going on right now. And so I did the best I could, and told him and encouraged him that he needs to communicate his feelings, okay? Because if we don't communicate, things eventually will be pushed down and pushed down and pushed down and pushed down, and then will eventually explode. So that's what me and my wife are trying to get across to him, that one of the most important things is to communicate. And then as that communication is had, then understanding can be had. But it's the same with our relationship with God. He's waiting there for us to communicate with Him. This way, He can communicate back to us. Answers, relationship between us and Him. and it really is that talking back and forth. So if I can encourage you, if you need to start somewhere, I would start in the book of John, chapter 1, and you'll see Jesus right there, right away. So my 5 minutes is up. I wanted to talk a lot longer on this, but maybe we'll continue this tomorrow. So I hope this has been encouraging to you and a blessing, and have an awesome day. Be well and be blessed. Take care.